No, my glorious quacking duck face sunset projection on the side of the mountain is not working in Minecraft RTX, not properly. It's all blobby and nondescript. Worst update ever. 0 stars, NVIDIA. Fail. Give me my duck face back. Hello again, I am Blunty, and within a day of this video's planned publication date, all things going to plan, sure, Microsoft, Mojang, and NVIDIA are ready to let the world in on what they've been doing to the Windows 10 version of Minecraft. In short, they've crammed in real-time light physics called path-traced ray tracing, and they're going to let you play with it because they're doing an open beta. If you're not sure what RTX or ray tracing or path tracing is, here's the dummy mode explanation. It makes every source of light in Minecraft, or any other video game it's applied to, from the sun to the humble torch, emit realistic light that bounces around the environment and off different surfaces exactly as light is supposed to in the real world. If you would like to dig in a little deeper on this, I'll link to a different video in the down below area. This video, though, is about comparison. Now, before we get much deeper, everything we're testing and showing off is still work in progress. It's beta, it's unfinished, it's still being worked on. Both RTX Minecraft and PTGI are works in progress. So keep that in mind. Things are going to get better, things are going to get faster, things are going to look better. And the list of known issues, bugs, incomplete features that I was provided in NVIDIA's Reviewer's Guide has many bullet points. There's lots of stuff they're still working on or haven't implemented yet or know is a bug or whatnot. But they're at the point where they're ready for community feedback. And that means, like I said, open beta. So dig in, let them know what you think, let them know what you want. Now, of course, more than just looking really pretty, which it does, using RTX cards to heavy lift actual real-world accurate light physics can make some interesting additions to how playing Minecraft feels. There's an intuitive sense we all develop as we grow up about how light and shadow behave. We can make predictions about our environment based on how light is going through it, how it interacts with various kinds of surfaces and obstacles, how it gives us clues to our environment, even those bits we can't actually see. And so it can make a game, even as stylistic by design as Minecraft, feel a bit more immersive. But an NVIDIA RTX card is not the only way to trace rays. For a little while now, a well-known shader creator in the Minecraft community, Seuss, has been working on a path-tracing global illumination ray tracing shader of his own. He called it PTGI, Path Traced Global Illumination. Says what it does on the tin. And this is just one guy, one very clever guy, tinkering away with the shader mod for the Java version of Minecraft. Because, unfortunately, the RTX version only works in the Windows 10 version of the game. And the PTGI shader does not need, and in fact literally cannot even use, NVIDIA's RTX hardware, even if you've got it in your machine. Instead, the calculations on how light is bouncing around are done by the CPU. And that is, of course, what you've been looking at here, side by side, as close as I could possibly match it, the same exact Minecraft world, originally created in Java. This is a copy of my survival world we use for streaming, converted across to Bedrock using third-party tools, imperfectly as it happens. Some weird bug deleted a couple of chunks of my base, but couldn't quite figure that one out in time, but never mind. But here you have it for your own consumption and judgment. One running in Bedrock's new beta RTX update, the other Java version with the Optifine mod enabling it to use shaders. But there is a price to pay for tracing rays without the special hardware to do it, and that price is performance. The Minecraft RTX advantage is, of course, it is using specialized hardware. Cores right on the GPU, specifically designed and specifically implemented to do ray tracing stuff and just be really good at that one job. That leaves the CPU and the rest of the GPU to do what they would normally be doing, while PTGI has to kind of brute force it, more or less. It is much less efficient, but you do get relatively the same end results, all else being equal. I'm not going to comment much on the differences. Both are still works in progress. As I've said a couple of times now, I want to remind you about that because people do get a bit, nitpicky. And the differences in texture packs is a big thing too, because at the time of recording, it was literally impossible for me to use identical texture packs. As it stands, I had to kind of do a little backdoor hacking just to get the ray tracing shaders to work in my converted RTX world. I am told in the broad launch, not this super secret media preview I've had, that process will be much easier for end users. But yeah, I had to jump through a few hoops just to get it to work for the sake of this video. So I think that deserves a sub and a bell ring and a comment and a thumb up and whatever else. Share the video on social media, whatever. You have no idea how difficult this was to get working properly. But there is also some stuff the shaders have nothing to do with, like this oddity with my glass statues. So as you can see here, this is the version, same converted version of the world, but without the RTX stuff packed into it this time. And as you can see, the glass looks like, well, it looks like glass does in Bedrock. And if we come back, yeah, we lose the transparency. So that weirdness we're seeing with the transparency, it's got nothing at all to do with RTX. It has everything to do with how the Render Dragon game engine renders the world of Minecraft. I don't know if that's something that RTX can work around or fix or something, but I truly, truly believe that they have to, because it kind of ruins things when glass goes completely opaque, when it just gets too far away from the camera for the game to be bothered with rendering it as transparent. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. But past the Render Dragon's own, let's be kind and call them quirks, you can still get a good idea about how light behaves in each and how various materials react to it, whether they be super shiny or matte or semi-shiny or soft or whatever. I do want you to look for how it's bouncing light around, how different colors of emitted light mix to make new colors on the walls and floors. I don't think either one is a standout winner here. There's sort of back and forth, hand-to-hand kind of thing going on here. One is better at something, the other is better at something else. I kind of like the general presentation of PTGI a little bit more. It's more subdued and maybe a little more naturalistic. I mean, it feels gentler somehow. But some of that is down to the texture packs. The NVIDIA ray tracing texture pack that they use for demo purposes is very bombastic because they want to show it off as big and as loud as possible. So perhaps with a more subtle texture pack in place of it, it too might look a bit more natural. I do, of course, love the smoother rendering of chunks and better atmospherics in the RTX version. Thanks to Bedrock, it is so much better at Java than doing that stuff. But it is a cold, hard fact that at 1080p, which is what I recorded these ones at, the RTX game runs at over twice the frame rate that PTGI manages on the exact same machine. It's a careful balance to get PTGI on this rig running at 30 FPS stable for a decent gameplay experience at all. I have to really sort of fiddle and balance with various settings and trade-offs and things. And in fact, I often run it at 900p when I'm streaming, because by the time the stream compression happens, you won't be able to tell anyway. But it does get me more stability of frame rate, so I can just turn a few options up a bit, so it looks prettier overall. Meanwhile, RTX runs 60 FPS easily at 1080p on the exact same hardware. It's a wonderfully smooth experience. No drops, no hitches, nothing. But fair props. One man made a ray tracing shader that can lock step in presentation, if not raw performance, with the clever team of people from two of the world's biggest gaming-related companies, NVIDIA and Microsoft. And in the end, the decision on which one you'll be playing with might not even come down to which traces rays better, or if you've got a machine good enough to brute force the ray tracing. Because there's still a pretty annoying divide between Java and Bedrock when it comes to features, and flexibility, and how quickly updates arrive, performance, even right down to simple things like Redstone behaving differently between different versions, which has continuously frustrated many players for years now. And of course, we can't get past this without saying this, the modding scene on Java absolutely eclipses even the fanciest custom game modes from the Bedrock storefront. But for the vanilla survival Minecraft experience, I don't know, man. I've got a tough choice. Which one am I going to stick with going forward? At the end of the day, I'm pretty damn excited RTX has buried itself into Minecraft Bedrock. I think it looks great. But I'm sure I don't even have to ask you for your opinion. You're already busily typing it in the down below, aren't you? Thank you for watching. I am Blunty. Special thank you to my patrons. Of course, you just lovely people, generous, kind, and wonderful, and golden, glorious people. But still not as cool as my duck face projection. I think it's cool as the duck face.